Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic and Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to make a video that I have been pushing off for quite a long bit, but there's not too much going on. I'm gonna talk about all the other bits that may or may not happen, but honestly, this video has been long in the waiting. Why I hate Venom. Now, when I don't say I hate a lot of things. I did not hate Birds of Prey. I did not... Okay, I hated Suicide Squad, but that's different. I hated Suicide Squad. I did not hate BVS. I did not hate Man of Steel. I don't even hate Wonder Woman. As people remember, as much shit as I talk about Wonder Woman, I gave that movie a 7 out of 10 at the time. I gave that movie a 7 out of fucking 10. Obviously, I don't motherfucking hate Wonder Woman. Now, it's a bit different for Venom. I do hate Venom. And understand this. That when I say I hate Venom, I'm not saying that there aren't any attributes in the movie that I enjoyed. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that it's one of the movies I'd never want to watch again. Because honestly, quite frankly, I would watch Venom over Suicide Squad in a heartbeat if you give me the option. I'd watch Venom over Suicide Squad and quite a few other animated movies if given the chance to. But the thing about Venom is, Venom to me, personally, and this is just my personal opinion, people don't have to agree with me. Obviously, you guys would probably, some people might disagree with me in the comment section. Venom to me represents everything the comic book movie genre has been trying to overcome. You know what I mean? Venom to me represents a past of the Daredevils and the Electras and the Ghost Riders, shit like that. That's what Venom to me represents. The Electras, the Ghost Riders, shit like this early, the early Birds of Prey show and things of that nature. It represents a time when people didn't quite understand comic book movies. Venom to me is like, and like people have used the phrase that it's like a 90s comic book movie as a compliment about this movie. I've never seen it that way. I've thought of this movie, it is like a 90s, it's like an early 2000s comic book movie. But not like an early 2000s comic book movie but it's an early 2000s comic book movies in a negative way. Take this for instance. There are movies that come out that are throwbacks. John Wick, in many ways, is a throwback to early action, to the early days of action movies in the late 90s and in the 90s, but it harkens back to it. But Venom is like it was made in the early 90s. It just happened to have a bit of updated CGI effects because the dialogue in the movie is ridiculous. The symbiote itself is completely over the top and only superficially Venom. And that's the point of the movie of Venom that really upsets me. That's not really Venom. That's not really Riot. These are superficially studioed down versions of these characters. And not in an MCU way where you guys are just mad that they're not violently, brutally murdering someone. I mean in a literal way. Venom in the comic books attaches himself to Spider-Man. Every version of Venom attaches himself to Spider-Man. Eddie Brock worked with Spider-Man and got the symbiote on him. And even different versions where things work out differently and alternate timelines and all these other things. Generally speaking, it attaches itself to Spider-Man. The symbiote doesn't come to Earth called Venom with its own personality and it just so happens to attach itself to dumb Eddie Brock. You know what I mean? That's not how that went down. And by fundamentally changing so much of Venom, it just harkens back to a time where studios and whatnot didn't care. It harkens back to the Dolph Lundgren Punisher. Do you guys remember the Dolph Lundgren Punisher? They thought the skull was stupid and they did not put it on his chest because that was too stupid and we don't get it and oh, that's too stupid. And literally, here's a Venom without the spider logo on his chest. His most iconic thing is his spider logo. They changed it to a face. And the thing that rubs me the wrong way about Venom and what it did from the moment they announced it, but I'll get into what I was gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. But the thing that rubs me the wrong way about Venom is that it is clear to me, it is shot for shot clear to me that how Sony got people to go see that movie, and the movie made a lot of money, so it got repeat viewing. It was a talking conversation. People were talking about it. Either some people genuinely enjoyed it, or some people thought it was so bad that it was enjoyable, but people were talking about it. But the only reason but how they got people in the door was by tricking them, was by playing fucking cloak and dagger about if Venom takes place in the MCU or not. Do you guys remember when Venom was announced? Venom was announced literally right after Spider-Man Homecoming had came out and been a big success. That's exact that literally. Next thing you know, they're announcing a Venom movie, and in the beginning, and immediately, and they're announcing a Venom movie, and at first we were like, what the fuck? And then they said it takes place outside of the MCU, and it's not gonna have Spider-Man in it. All of us lost our shit. Collectively lost our shit like we should have. But then they started doing this cloak and dagger shit. Amy Pascal was like, oh, I don't know, maybe he's not. Kevin Feige's like, no, he's not. And like they started playing this cloak and dagger shit where they wouldn't give you a straight answer of if this takes place in the MCU. They wouldn't give you a straight answer. Is Spider-Man in this? How does he get like they would not give you a straight answer. They wanted to they purposely left you in the shadows. They purposely cut the lights off and said, just walk down the hall. Like, that's what they did. They tricked half of the audience into coming to see this movie because they thought it was a part of the MCU. When it turned out it wasn't a part of the MCU, it was too late. People have already came to see it and had their opinions about it. And they're doing the same thing with fucking Morbius right now, which is why I have been so against Morbius this entire time, because I saw them do this shit already. They're not doing this to me again. You're not tricking me with your cloak and dagger shit when we both know there's gonna be some bullshit where that fucking Michael Keaton cameo isn't even in the movie, or that Spider-Man shit isn't even in the movie. You're not getting me, Sony. You're not getting me. But the thing is, I was willing to give Venom the benefit of the doubt. All my doubts, I was willing to give it the benefit of the doubt because I thought it was going to be rated R. And I thought to myself, you know what? If they're going to make this Venom movie rated R, there's no way they could have put that in the MCU. Whatever, all right, fine. You'll do the movie. It'll make sense that you did it this way. It's going to be rated R. There's going to be things in it that you couldn't have done in the MCU. There's going to be things that, and that wasn't the case. For instance, I did not love the Joker movie. And I was against the Joker movie being a solo movie also. But once I saw the movie and saw what they were going for, I don't think they quite hit it for me, but I saw what they were going for in the Joker movie. I realized, oh, this is probably something you could only do in like some off-world movie, because it wouldn't make any real sense. Where would Batman be if you try to do it in the DCU, and if you're trying to make this his origin, then you're just rewriting then you're just making an origin story. But I was like, I get it, why you would do this solo movie this way, because you would need the Joker to have that much attention. This Venom movie was absolutely not that case. This movie could have easily, and that's what hurt me about this Venom movie. And I think that's what hurt me the most, which fueled my hatred for this movie, is the fact that it represents all the tropes and whatnot that the comic book movie genre has been trying to overcome. The dumb, silly CGI mess. The third act was two snot bubbles smashing together and twirling around. That was the third act of Venom. But you know what? CGI bad acts aren't new to the comic book movie genre. The thing that annoys me about Venom is that it was so unnecessary considering what the character could be. We haven't even gotten him right the first time, and they only made this movie. Let's face it, you know what? Call me biased in the comment section. Just do it. I don't give a fuck. Sony only made Venom because they wanted to bank off of the MCU's goodwill. They made Venom to bank off of the MCU's goodwill, to bank off of the MCU's help, because I can guarantee you, Venom would have never happened if the MCU did not allow Spider-Man into it. If the MCU doesn't allow Spider-Man into it, and Sony just burns, and Sony just keeps going the way they were going, Venom doesn't happen. Or if it does happen, it does not make the same amount of money. That's just the truth. Venom happened so that Sony could bounce, so Sony can use the MCU as a catapult to try to defibrillate their own fucking franchise, because all they got is Spider-Man, and that is it. But the thing about Venom that pisses me off is we haven't gotten a good Venom. We haven't gotten the proper Venom. There is nothing about this movie that couldn't have been said in a Spider-Man 3 movie with Venom in it, or a Spider-Man movie down the line with Venom in it. That's how that should have been done. It should have been a symbiote attached to Spider-Man, and then it fell on Eddie Brock. Can you imagine that? Tom Hardy as the villain of a Spider-Man movie? You'd have Jake Gyllenhaal. You'd have fucking, God damn it, how am I forget? Michael Keaton, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Tom Hardy as the villains of the Spider-Man trilogy. You know how great that would have been? But no, Sony's got to make their quick buck. They got to make their quick buck. They're cloak and dagger in the audience. And this movie is an old school freaking 90s movie in all the worst ways possible. Right down to the awful villain, the bland villain, right down to certain things not even making any fucking sense at all. Right down to them skipping how Venom even got his name. If you're a comic book fan, you remember how Venom got his name, do you? You remember. Eddie Brock and Venom connected, and he say, we are Venom. They became Venom. But the symbiote was already Venom somehow. Why was it called Venom? I don't know. But none of that shit makes sense in that movie. I hate Venom. Okay, I just hate it. There's nothing else I could say about that movie. I hate Venom. Thank you guys for watching the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.